Hello from Farland. Yeah, well, today actually I took a couple days off this week, or maybe 3 or 4. I really didn't do much. Just sort of laid around and watched YouTube. I've gotten into this Washington State geology. It's fascinating. I won't bore you with that. But I did start work yesterday on something, and it's pretty good sized project. I installed this one signal here. That's a distant. It's yellow and green. I'm going handheld today because there's so many locations involved. And that wire runs all the way over there to where that coach is sitting on the track, where there's another signal. It's another distant signal. We'll go over there. I've been going in and out under here, so I've got the skirt up. I'm going to install it right here, or the board's going here. I sort of like having the boards on the outside. I used to have them all tucked up underneath, but I kind of like to see them. You know, this whole railway, first of all, this whole railway is for my amusement only. That's the only reason it's here. And you know, I like to see the lights flashing and stuff. So I have another distance signal here, which is yellow and green. And then I've installed another one right there. I don't know if you can see that or not. See if I can zoom in on it. Okay, there it is right there. And that's a red and green signal. And I'm going to use, instead of just, and these are all tied together, or will be. I haven't wired anything up yet, but I do have sensors embedded. I have a sensor just downstream of this signal here, so that if you went past it, you'd trigger it. I'm going to put another set of sensors over there where the fabric is up, because I was getting down under there too. And that sensor will tell me if there's something in the station. Yes, I know if it's not right over it, it won't pick it up. If it's a train across it, it will, but if it's a locomotive sitting at one end or the other of the station, then no, it won't. Oh, and by the way, I have cleared off, oh, let me zoom back out. I have cleared this all off so I can start thinking about structure over here and how I'm going to do all this. These two pieces of plywood, this one and that one, are just laying there loose. They're not screwed down, not fastened or anything, because I don't really know what I'm going to do over here. I may elevate that a little bit. We'll see. Anyway, back to this signal situation. I'm going to have a sensor over there, kind of in the middle of the platform, and a sensor here. And either one of those will set this to red. But if you were going that way and you were sitting on the platform, of course you wouldn't see that, but other trains coming towards you would see it, and they would stop right here since it's a red signal, thereby hopefully preventing collisions in the station. Well, as you and I well know, there are not little men in here driving these locomotives around. It's just me, and the signals are just for my amusement. So is the locomotives, and so is the whole railway. So it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be correct. In other words, this signal here, I wish it was back over there behind the hill, but I wouldn't be able to see it over there, so, you know, what good is it? But over here, if I'm standing anywhere out in this area, all the way around, because these are bright, all the way around to over here someplace, back in the crook, I would still be able to see them. So, oh, and by the way, I've decided to leave these particularly tall telegraph poles in place. I took them out towards the end of the other video. But one of the things I like about this signals, and by the way, these are new ones. Let's see, where can we see one? The first one I showed you is not new, but these are, just a second, I will go get one and show it to you. There you can see it, I think. I had these custom made. It actually turned out to be cheaper than buying commercial ones. But they have a round top. And when you look at cab rides and things on YouTube, you'll notice that most of them are square or they have the corners clipped. But sometimes, every once in a great while, you run into one of these with a rounded top. So I did some research and discovered that these are a very, very early design. And I thought that they would be very interesting. I thought they would be very interesting for Farland because they're quite old. Some of them survived, but most of them are gone now. But in earlier cab ride videos, I have seen them. And watching those and seeing some of these piqued my interest in them. I think you'll also see these on the tube, but I'm not sure. Another thing I like about them, they're very bright. And I like that because you can see them from quite a ways away. Let's see, going back over here, there's one that's set at green from the same company. It doesn't have the rounded top. It's an older one that I bought for the old layout. It has square corners on the blinder, but it is also very bright. Well, here's a pair of them. There's one from my supplier on the right and one from Econ in the UK on the left. The UK one is very dim. Now that may be accurate as far as mimicking reality, but as far as me being able to see these signals from a great distance, the right one wins hands down. I guess the one on the right, it's rounded top and bottom. So that's why I've decided to go with these for the new signals. And I bought 5 sets, 5 yellow greens and 5 red greens. Anyway, so I'm going to continue to work on this and I'll bring you back in later on. Conveniently, this main junction box for 12-volt power, well, it's not a box, but it's a junction anyway, it's right directly below, or close to below, where this signal is. So I can tap right here. Okay, here's where I am in this project. These are the wires coming in from the far distant signal, way back around by up the road up the hill from Farland. I have not hooked up the wires from the other 2 signals, but you saw me, I just brought power to this. So now what I want to do is I want to test the sensors first, because this is a very unorthodox, a very unusual setup. Can't get my chair out of the way. A very unusual setup where I have 2 sets of sensors. And I'm going to roll. I'm going to raise this, so I'll be right back. Okay, that's better. I have my test coach over here. And there are no sensors in the track down here. But I'm going to roll it down over to that signal, that one right there, where there are signals, or sensors, I mean. And the question I'm going to be wanting to find out is whether the sensors over there are going to trigger my circuit over here. So I'm going to roll my coach, my test coach. I was using this because it's the widest coach I have. Okay, it's over the sensors. Let's see if it triggered it. Oh yeah, sure did. The timer is ready to time out, and it's set for 15 seconds. Unless, something continues to sit on it. Okay, now I'm going to roll that same coach over there where the other two sensors are. Hang on. So the question is now, did that trigger my circuit? And the answer is no. Oh, there it goes. It was over a bogey, and for some reason bogeys don't really work. Okay, well that proves that the sensors are working properly. I pull the coach off, and then it'll start timing. Timing at 15 seconds. So I would say so far so good. There it went, 15 seconds. Oh, there is one other thing I wanted to ask you about. Okay, the other thing I wanted to ask you about is I have this, it's a home signal, and I was thinking about putting it right here. I also have an automatic sensor for it. Now I know it's on the wrong side, but if I put it out here, then it would confuse traffic on this line, which is going that way. If I put it here though, it could tell the guy coming out of Farmore that the track is not clear and he shouldn't pull out. It's on the wrong side of the track, I believe. But tell me what you think. Okay, that's really it this time. Bye from Farland.